How are we doing?
Yeah.
Good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Everyone hear us? Thumbs up. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
I'm a bit of a yeller, so if I'm talking too loud, just go like that. Right, I'm Rich McCarty. I operate between agencies and their clients. I leg it between the two, so this is like right at the heart of what I want to talk about today. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. I hope you've had a brilliant Mad Up North so far. 20 minutes just flashes by, so I'm just going to crack on. Emma, first off, tell us who you are, why you accepted this invitation for hell up here, and tell us what your view is on agency, brand relationships and collaboration.
I mean, it's a panel on agency-client relationships, right, with collaboration at the heart of it. Like, I'm never going to say no to that. That's our wheelhouse. I'm Emma. I'm a growth director and a senior consultant at Verity Relationship Intelligence, and we help agencies and their client relationships. And what is fascinating about our data, right, so we've got 20 years worth of client satisfaction data on what clients think of agencies and working with them. And the North has a superpower, right? So I was really interested to hear about what the North do really well. And clients praise Northern agencies way more compared to the UK norm for their supportiveness and their client service. And that really matters, right? So the relationship, if you like, is that most underutilized lever that an agency's got of any form of commercial success and growth. You can't grow an account unless you've got a really amazing relationship with your client. You won't grow an agency if you haven't got that either. So in seeing what Northern agencies are doing brilliantly, all of those relational mentions, so I'm talking about trust, I'm talking about your people, I'm talking about, are you easy to work with? Do you understand your clients really well? Like, all that stuff drives way higher agency client satisfaction ratings than anything to do with what you do. So to be here on a panel talking about how is just brilliant. And I think there's a lot that agencies are doing brilliantly. It's not to say that anything to do with the what isn't important, of course. Like, if that creative work isn't flawlessly, consistently brilliant, if your media plan, isn't basically on point, if you're late, if anything's riddled with errors, then it doesn't matter how helpful, how lovely your team are, you're not delivering on the basics. But the thing that separates the highest performing agencies from the rest is their relational skills. And if we think about what the relationship is, or maybe let's start with what it isn't. It's not an accidental byproduct of the work. A broken relationship is not going to be fixed by the next set of campaign results. And also, it's not about just saying yes to your client and agreeing to every single thing that they want to do, often maybe unreasonable demands, right? And I think that's really important to think about. So the relationship's the lens through which everything is seen of what you do. And you need and you want that to be as rose-tinted as possible to get that client growth. We talk a lot about a leaky bucket, right? If any agency leaders out there, like, you don't want to be in that situation where you're losing accounts and you're not able to organically grow them, because it's harmful to your bottom line and morale and everything else that you want to do. So if we think about what collaboration is, it sits right at the heart of that. It's the core relational skill that clients really appreciate in their agencies. When they've got it and they praise it, they're rating easily 8 out of 10 and above. And it's about listening, right? It's about understanding, it's about setting, meeting expectations. Now, you can't collaborate with yourself, okay? It takes two to tango. It's a two-way street, and clients are as responsible for that relationship as the agency is.
Magic, thank you. Okay, AJ, my friend, tell us who you are, why you took this invitation to be here, what your view is, and as a client, do you tango?
So did you know that tango actually means to special forces the enemy? So I'm not the enemy, but no, 100%. We've got to be. It's a relationship and it's a two-way street. So why did I take this invitation? Well, look. First of all, it's a massive privilege to be here because this is phenomenal. Like, I'm just so like taking it all in. And I suppose, look, it's not my first rodeo. Probably my skill set is around brand transformation. I'm a modernizer. I love to innovate. I've had 25 years doing it in London for 16 years and about 12 years up here in the mighty northwest. And you know, I've worked across different economic models, from PLCs to you know, membership-based models to organising committees, and so I'm probably, you know, and I suppose I'm more of a sort of phoenix rising from the ashes type girl, in that I was responsible for rebranding BT Cellnet to O2. Some of you older people out there might remember the Dome to become the O2 Arena. Sorted out the London 2012 logo. I put the Union Jack inside it, and what was really exciting was repositioning the Paralympics so that we flipped it from BBC broadcast to Channel 4, and we did a Superhuman campaign. And then eventually I was invited to work for Co-op, which was going through a rescue. And so I was part of the rescue, rebuild and renew phase. So I feel like I've seen it all. I've seen really great agencies out there across a whole massive range. I've seen some great clients and some, you know, not so great clients. So I suppose the question is, if building on what Emma says, the question is how can the mighty North build on their superpowers of relationship building? How can you use that to support us as clients? And also to drive consumers out of the vibe session that we're currently seeing. So if that is the question, then, you know, first of all, it's so great to be able to talk about that. I think we're really guilty as clients for not talking about our relationship. And I think, am I surprised that the Northwest are greater at relationship building and relational? No, not at all. However, I think you've got to put your foot on the accelerator. And I think one of the things you can be doing better is 100% building your profile within the business. And there's probably 3 ways, very quickly, you can do that. The first is understand your client. The second is really understand your client's internal challenges. And the third is really, you know, connect into their business. So I'll unpack that very quickly. Understanding the client. Now, this is critical. You've got to have that honest chat with your client, which is talking about what you're great at, but critically where you need to develop as an agency. You know, and equally, as we said, it's a two-way street. It's really critical that you hold your client to account and you ask them what is their superpower and what are their blind spots. Because if we don't collaborate together and walk into the room, you know, it may be new news to you, but customer is just not in the room. It's not on the agenda. So we've got to collaborate and work together. The second, and this is I think the most critical, is understanding your client's challenges. So you need to be able to walk in their shoes. And so the first thing I think you need to do once you've got that trust with your direct client, is start to build out a stakeholder map. Now, this isn't just Kevin from accounts, yeah? You've got to go really deep on the stakeholder map. So you need to understand your direct clients, all the plethora of functional areas that they face into. So you've got to know what the priorities are of the internal client. You've got to know what their value system is. And lastly, you've got to just know what they care about, because your role in that as an agency is that there will be, without a doubt, over time, a difference of opinion, and you can come in and you can bridge that gap, you can align the room, you build your confidence, and you've literally unlocked growth for the client. And then very lastly, don't be afraid to ask your client, can you set up workshops so you can meet all the different functional areas, and don't be afraid to ask if you can come into the office and work 1 day a week. So they're my 3 ways and how I think you can accelerate your superpower.
Brilliant, thank you. Loads of great stuff there, Charisse. Tell us who you are a bit and why you joined the panel, and give us your view.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Charisse Barber. I'm client side, so I'm ex-Green King, ex-Speedo, also ex-Britvic, so all the X's. And one of the things that I am so passionate about, actually, so I'm a Midlandser, I'm from Nottingham, but I've worked in London for many years, and often on client side roles in London, you try to listen out for the accents to see if you can hear anyone, and it's amazing how actually you all gravitate to each other. So I'm hugely really passionate about talent from the Midlands, talent from the North, both from a client side and agency side. And I've been fortunate enough throughout my career to be party to some amazing agency client partnerships and amazing creative work. And I'll just share with you some of the threads that I've learned from being part of those relationships, but also observing those relationships in terms of what makes them brilliant. And really it boils down to one simple thing. The root of any great relationship is intimacy and trust. Right now on the client side, it's really hard. Procurement are chopping your budgets. We've gone through major restructures, so our marketing teams are being halved. We're being asked to do more for less, and it's really, really tough from a client side perspective. And I think this is where your agency's relationships really step into the fore. And I think what sets agencies from just being a service provider to be really true business partners is actually, there's three things that I would be looking for my agency and my agencies that I work with do. One area is looking at how you can drive more value. So as AJ was saying, actually intimately get to know some of the challenges that I'm facing, what challenges are being put on my budgets. When I'm asked to generate an ROI, help me work that out, help me pitch for more investment, like understand the challenges that I'm facing, because the marketing teams are also under significant pressure. The second area is be indispensable. Find a way to spot opportunities that even maybe outside of your current service offering. It really helps clients actually if they're able to just kind of go to one partner. Like look for areas actually that you may go, okay, we can see that your social team has been cut in half. Actually, you could outsource that to us. Like we could help you with that. Like look at opportunities even if it's outside of your current core providing, because if you've developed that intimacy, if you develop that trust with your client, then you become an absolute indispensable partner. And I think for agencies to clients, particularly in 2025, given the context that a lot of our brands are operating in commercially, I think that was a really powerful space for agencies to step into.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm going to take you looking at me because I can't quite hear you over there, but I'm sure everyone else can. Right, okay, second bit, right? Bit speedier because I'm feeling time.
Okay.
What should our audience and the wider community feel threatened by in 2025? And I like to end with a message of hope, right? So after we've talked about what we're threatened by, where's the opportunity, Emma?
Okay. There is a massive amount of optimism, right? There's a virtual cycle of great relationships. So when that client is going to rate you 8, 9, 10 out of 10, you're going to get a better strike rate with your work. You're going to do better work. They're going to be more forgiving when you get something wrong. You're probably going to attract better talent to the team and to the agency. You're also going to get better margins, and it goes round and round and round in circles, right? And that client will stay with you for longer. So having a real trusted relationship with your client will pay back. So invest in those relational skills and really harness what you do brilliantly. From a threat point of view, we have a future fit index, right, which tracks what clients and senior marketers think about their agency's ability to deliver on their future needs. And that's where the risk is. A third of all senior marketers don't feel fully confident that their current agencies are going to deliver on their future needs. So that point about the long term and the future, it's as much about delivering on the day-to-day and building strong relationships for now, but it's about the future. It's about your innovation. It's about your strategic expertise. It's about your relationship skills. That's what's setting apart the real high performers from the rest. If you're a client, my message to you is it's a people-led industry, right? Be human, be kind, be open, communicate, collaborate. It is your job to get the best out of the agencies. And there is a huge amount of brightness in what we're seeing.
Lovely, be human. That's one of my t-shirt ideas for whatever. We did that at another MadFest event. AJ?
Right, so this is the doom and gloom bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So look, I think that everyone in this room's is under threat. And I think in 2025, it's got to be all about upskilling Well, investing not only time, but if you can invest budget into your people. The reason I say that is because we've got to show up as a collective. We've got to show up as a collective in really difficult meetings, board meetings, trade meetings, all the different financial forums. And we've got to win. We've got to get the decisions made that approve our work. As Therese has already said, marketing budgets are being cut. I'm seeing, and this is quite controversial, could it be the death of the CMO? The reason I say that is I see CMO roles merging into commercial roles. I see commercial and CMO roles moving into growth director roles. And if you think about it, if this year's expectation is you can take a wedding invitation and you take a photo of it and you put it in any of your prompts and you say to it, I need my wedding dress in 3 days' time, yeah, and they know your budget, they know all your purchase history, so your size, your style, your color, and there's an expectation that dress will be showing up in 3 days' time. I mean, I find that mind-blowing because I can't even get Deliveroo to my house yet. But look, so what that says to me is we've got to know more, we've got to be more than marketeers. We can no longer just say, oh, I'm just marketing. We've got to be able to show commercial return. You've got to upskill your teams to be commercial. No longer can you say, oh, that's too techy. We've got to brief in that wedding invite, right? And lastly, we've got to be able to coach yourself, if nothing else, but all your teams to deliver the results. So we've got to work together. But the good news is that you also need soft skills to win. And it turns out that it's the North's superpower. So I think there's lots to be joyful and hopeful about.
Joy and hope, love it. Okay, Charisse, drive us with some hope.
Home. Well, a little bit of doom for some hope,
Okay.
but I think there's a context of, like, in most categories for most brands, they are looking for financial sustainability in this year, but for some categories it's financial survival. And within that financial survival, the number one thing that brands are looking for is demand generation. They're looking to appeal to more people, and I think the North are perfectly positioned to help brands do that. Firstly, you have a unique perspective of the UK. You have a unique perspective that goes beyond the M25 bubble. You have the opportunity to bring a more inclusive and diverse perspective to your clients and actually open them up to appeal to more people, be it people from diverse backgrounds, working class backgrounds, and you have a unique perspective that, to be honest, I don't see many agencies of the North kind of bringing that to me. If brands need to appeal to more people, then you are perfectly positioned to do that. So really in 2025, like, really embrace that superpower, make sure that you're nurturing that creative talent in the North so that we can get that creativity in the end result, but equally making sure that you're bringing that perspective to brands, particularly brands that may be based in the South, because trust me, the brands that are within the M25 bubble aren't doing that, and brands like mine, when I'm like, show me the real people, like I need to speak to like normal people who don't live in Soho, and I think that there's the northern agencies, you've got a real opportunity to bring that perspective into the room, so embrace that. And I think that gives a lot of agencies hope for this year.
Magic. Okay, I want to say thank you to Charisse, to AJ, to Emma. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming and listening to us. I hope you've learned some stuff. I think the big message for me is just embrace that superpower, wherever that is in your business. Let's burst that M25 bubble and let's democratise the industry. And thank you to Dan and Ian for creating this brilliant event. I hope to see more MadFest in other cities. I've loved being back in Manchester. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the rest of it. Safe journey.